please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA, gateway to the 7 scene lands of the Magic Kingdom.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and I've got a monorail full of friends this morning. Let's start introducing them each individually, one by one. We will begin with the man who keeps things running when I'm not around, the one that is in charge of the Captain Poochie era. You know him as a lot of things. I know him as a brother. It's Landon, the Doane. Landon, welcome back to the monorail.
Hi, everybody. Coming to you from the Isolation Station of Love. It's me. It's the DOZ, wishing you a happy new year. Yes, because this is dropping on January 1st of the year 2024. And for my New Year's resolutions, I resolve to be meaner, fatter, and tell a whole lot of you what I really, really think of y'all.
Well, how is that last one a resolution? I feel like you pretty much speak your mind generally as it is.
CJ, I'm trying to set realistic goals. I know a lot of people, it's like, new year, new me. I'm going to lose 150 pounds. I'm going to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. Let me go ahead and set the bar realistic. You're not going to do any of those things. So let's just be, hey, you know what? That's part 3 of my resolution.
Okay.
Part 3 of my resolution.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Happy New Year, y'all.
Happy New Year. Thank you, Landon. Glad to have you. Now over to everyone's favorite E.T. lover. It's Stephers. Stephers, welcome back to the monorail.
Hello, I thought you were going to say something else and I was waiting for it. And then you didn't say it. I said, okay, never mind. But Happy New Year, everyone. Landon, it's nice of you to rejoin the monorail because you took a little bit of a little breaky poo.
It was a Christmas break.
And I was lonely with Justin.
Yeah, how dare I, not record on Christmas Eve / Christmas Day, though I got to be honest, not podcasting. Kind of nice. Maybe that needs to also be a New Year's resolution.
No, say it ain't so, Landon. We can't have that.
Get out of here.
We cannot have that kind of talk on the monorail. Everybody needs a
New
DAWs.
Year, same DAWs.
Same DAWs. That's right.
Ah, man.
And PIMDOS as well for the new year. Hey guys, did you know that we have a special guest joining us for the show today? I don't know if you could tell, but I mean, if you just look around the monorail, there's an additional person sitting here with us. So
there is.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but the more the merrier, and particularly when it's this individual joining us for this New Year episode of the Monday Morning Monorail.
That's right. Well, there are those of you out there who probably are a fan of his because you maybe are subscribed to his YouTube channel. Which you might refer to as Skipper Bob Breakdowns. You may be a fan of the podcast The Cretins Guild, or maybe you're just a fan of his work behind the scenes for a large wrestling promotion that we're all very familiar with. And of course, everyone loves the sound guys. It's Skipper Bob. Skipper Bob, welcome to the monorail.
I decided not to opt out of this podcast. And folks, the monorail is now open. The skipper is allowed boarding. I am your captain of chaos. I am Skipper Bob D.A.D.
Well, Bob.
Daddy? Is
Daddy?
That
you? No. This guy over here, he's the daddy. He's the papa.
He's the papa. There's a difference. No. There's just a difference between papa and daddy. I just want to lay that out right now.
That's true.
I'm uncomfortable.
Earlier I rejected the daddy moniker because I felt like that was reserved for one daddy tomorrow. But Skipper Bob, you can carry that mantle today if you'd like.
Daddy.
I continue
now
to
that
be
we're
uncomfortable.
Yeah, now that I've made it completely weird.
No, not at all.
Weird here? I think we exude weird.
We like to get weird. This is a weird monorail. Today, my friends, this is episode 182 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. And as Landon mentioned, it is January 1st if you're listening to this on the drop date of 2024. A whole new year. It's a leap year. Can you believe it? We'll have a whole nother day to potentially go into theme parks.
That means it's also an election year.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. I'm not ready. My mind,
the ads already. It's crazy.
My emotions.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing about me is ready for that this year.
Try working at a political talk radio station. Hi.
Yeah. But all the better to distract ourselves with Walt Disney World, Universal, and SeaWorld news. Landon, you brought it up, and I feel like that maybe this is a good time just to go around the table and ask everybody, do we have any New Year's resolutions? I know yours were sort of tongue-in-cheek, Landon, but does anyone currently in the Monorail studio here have a New Year's resolution they're setting forward, whether it be for creating or just personally? Stephers does.
First of all, how dare you saying that mine are tongue-in-cheek? I am going to get meaner, I am going to get fatter, and I'm going to tell all y'all what I really think.
Okay. Well, all right. So, Landon, we'll take those as your real resolutions, but Stephers maybe has something that's less aggressive, so let's find out what Stephers
I guess I can do like a creator one and like a personal one, but the creator one is obviously to one day put this Adventures with Stephers back on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is be nicer to myself, which like a lot of people that are listening don't know, but like less self-deprecating humor, a little bit more positive, stuff like that.
That's great.
And keep going to therapy.
I mean, both of those are great goals, Stephers. I think you got to love yourself and believe in yourself. And you know what, Stephers? All of us think you're awesome. So you got to start thinking that too.
Yeah, I'm a work in progress. I'm getting there.
All right. Well, good.
And then I want to lose 150 pounds to spite Landon.
and hike Mount Kilimanjaro. Don't forget that.
That's a little bit too steep. Let's go to like Everest.
Oh,
you know?
Okay. You're really dialing it back.
Like the roller coaster. Like I'll the line till the roller coaster. And that's about it.
That's fine. Yeah, that would definitely teach me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Skipper Bob, do you got any resolutions that you've made for 2024?
Would resolution be basically the same thing as a goal?
Yeah, sure.
Or is it more just basically bettering yourself? Because I've worked really hard on that over the last 6 months. I'm about to do my first 5K, which for a fat ass like me is kind of a nervous wreck right now. But I'm also I'm going to start up a new show on my Patreon channel called Skipper Bob's Breakdowns, where I'm going to do reviews of restaurants and attractions, and it's all going to be based off the roll of the dice. So whatever the dice lands on, that's what I'm going to do the review on. So I'm expecting it to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I've done just about everything in town.
That's awesome. Yeah. And leaving a podcast to chance. That sounds like a wonderful plan. I mean, no, but that's very cool. That's a really good idea. And anything involving dice is exciting to me. So I like rolling dice.
Roll for initiative.
That's right. I don't know. I think this year, because I usually try to avoid those like the standard stereotypical resolutions, but I really am going to try to get back to what I was doing at the end of 22, which is being better about my exercise routine and watching what I eat. But last year, my resolution going into 23 was I'm going to read a book every quarter, 4 books. I read 0 from start to finish. So this year, my goal is I'm going to finish 1 book. Just 1. I think I can do it.
Hey, realistic expectations.
Yeah. So I started Jaws when I was on the cruise back in August, and then once we got back, I didn't read any more of it. And I like that book. I never make time for reading, and I really should. So I'm gonna stop reading all the Hollywood gossip rags. I don't read those.
But how are you ever going to know what's going to happen to Taylor Swift and Travis? Wait, no, you could just watch football.
I'll watch football. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My bad. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think that is a great opportunity for us to look forward to some things that are happening in 2024. But this time we're going to talk about what's happening in the theme parks. And You know, when we do that, that means we've got to check the headlines. That's right, dreamers. We are back with the breaking news from around the Central Florida and beyond theme parks. And today we're going to start with something that is not super exciting. There's actually not a ton of news over the last week or so out of Disney.
No, there really isn't. When you put these articles, it's like there has to be something that he's No, there really isn't.
Most of the sites that we use, Blog Mickey, WDW Magic, Diz Info, All Ears, all those, all they really had for over the last week was, did you know Genie Plus sold out again today? Did you know it's really crowded in the parks? Yeah, we knew. We know. So I don't need it. I love, by the way, I'm not trying to trash these sites. I love these sites. We use them every week, but also I think we all know it's busy in the parks around Christmas and New Year.
Very peoply.
Yeah.
No, speaking on Genie Plus, I did think it was somewhat noteworthy. Animal Kingdom, for the first time ever, sold out of Genie Plus. That speaks to how peoply Walt Disney World is right now over the Christmas into New Year's holiday break. It is right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, it's packed. It's packed. One of the annual things I always like to ask around this time of year is I like to see which attraction had the highest wait time and then think to myself all the things I could do during that period of time. So I know people were posting that Flight of Passage got up to a 330-minute wait. And my main comment about that is, if you're a human being that can comprehend reading and make logical decisions, and you look up and you see Flight of Passage posted 330 minutes, and you choose to get in that line, you should probably have your license revoked. You should probably have your voter's registration revoked. I don't understand who would make, you are wasting your whole day, and it's a great ride. I'm not going to take that away from you. But how many of those people in that line is this their only chance to ride it? I would say a portion of it that might be true, and I get it. You get a pass. This is your one trip to Disney. You get a pass. But even
I just want to clarify, this still is a pro theme park podcast, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
This is
has their limit.
This is more negative people than it is. I just don't understand. And this is a serious question. Can you imagine? Let's say you get to go to Tokyo Disney Sea. It's your one shot because you know you're not going to make that trip maybe more than once, right? And there's a ride at Tokyo Disney Sea that you have to ride. And I don't know. Let's just say Journey to the Center of the Earth. Don't they have one of those? It's like a Journey to the Center of the Earth ride.
Let's just say teacups. Everybody loves the teacups.
But you get there and you see that the wait is 330 minutes and you're like, this is my one chance to ride this ride. Do you get in that line?
I make sure I go to the park multiple days. This is me. I would rather plan a longer trip and have more of a chance on that trip, and say it's like the last day and I still haven't ridden it and it's still 300 minutes, maybe, but I can't. And maybe I'm biased because I've been to, the local parks. I haven't been to Tokyo. So like maybe that's the exception to the rule, but like 300 minutes.
And who knows?
You know what I can do with 300 minutes?
A lot. You could read like 3 books, probably, Stephers. I could read chapter 1 of a book.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you for that resolution, by the way. I'm hoping to hit closer to my 100 book goal.
Oh my God.
But I was at I think over 50 this year.
Wow. That's crazy. That's pretty crazy.
In the scenario you're laying out, if this is the one time that I'm traveling to Tokyo, that's a 5.5 hour wait for one ride. I mean, I could literally go Knoxville to Nashville and almost Nashville to Knoxville back in the time it would take me to stand in line for this one ride. I don't know if I could say yes to that.
Yeah. I think it's would you, and then what? I wouldn't wait 300 minutes for ET, and I love it blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? What's your exception to the rule if you were to wait for one ride that
And maybe let's just say it's your last shot. You know this is the last time. Let's say they're closing down.
I was going to say, yeah.
Let's say they are closing down your favorite ride. For me, that would be like Haunted Mansion and Magic Kingdom. They've made some and you know that this would never happen because the lines of people protesting around the park would be ridiculous.
I'm sure that decision would go over very well.
But let's say it's the final day of operation of the Haunted Mansion. They're shutting it down in every park in the world, and you're in Magic Kingdom. What would be the cutoff for how long you would wait to ride it one last time? That I think that maybe is the test, because and for you, Stephers, ET, like they're closing ET.
2 hours.
2 hours would be your cutoff.
Yeah. This is the thing. I've ridden it 10,000 times. It's not going to change the last time. Like, as much as I would love to.
I disagree. That last time would hit harder.
Yeah.
I already cry every single time I ride the ride, honey. Like, I love you and I see what you're saying. However,
yeah,
no way am I waiting more than 2 hours for a ride. Like, I physically, like, I get cranky. Like, God forbid I don't eat before, and then I'm in the line and I'm hangry. Like, it's going to ruin my ride experience.
We're aware you get cranky, Stephers.
Listen, you're the one who's going to be meaner this year.
Skipper Bob, get in here.
Stephers, let me throw this caveat at you. If you recall back to when Ellen's Energy Adventure, final day, the final ride broke down so people were allowed to walk the track and see everything.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that happening for E.T.
Wow. That'd be pretty awesome.
Oh.
3 hours.
What if you were... Okay, we've upped it. All right.
3 hours. If I had the chance to walk, 3 hours. And the reason why I'm like doing 2-3 hours is because that's how long I waited for Hagrid's when it first opened. I waited like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And like, I thought that was worth the wait.
Yeah.
I still think it's worth the wait. I will not wait in that line, but I do think it's worth the wait if you've never ridden it before. So like,
I was thinking back to when Galaxy's Edge opened and Frank Cardillo came to town. Landon and I shared a Little Mermaid room with him. But the line that we got into to ride Smuggler's Run on opening day of Galaxy's Edge, of course, we got in the line at like 3 a.m. So
and the line started at the beginning, or at the door of Hollywood Studio, pretty much.
Yeah, well, and then they moved us up, but that's where we started waiting for sure. But at the end of the day, we probably waited 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours to get on Smuggler's Run. Now, number one, we didn't know how long that wait was going to be. But number two, it was also like an opening day event. And it felt like we were part of like something that was different than just joining a line that you've already, you can see it. There's plenty of other things to do. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just, anyway, I don't mean to judge people. I really don't. But I just feel like it's a bad choice. That's all I'm trying to say.
I think an opening or closing. I think an opening and closing of a ride or experience is a different vibe.
Different scenario.
Yeah. So I think in that regard, different. But when you're standing, like during the holidays, I just would never go to the theme parks.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no interest. They start the holidays in August. Just go in August. I mean, don't go in August because it's hot as heck. But like, you know what I mean? Like I think that's why they do it so early. They spread it out. So like, even if you have kids that are, in school, whatever the case may be, there's usually a scenario where you can maybe make it work.
Yeah.
I'd rather go like a 4-day weekend than like over Christmas and New Year's.
True.
300. Well, I don't know. Play the pattern.
Before we started recording, Stephers, you and I were talking, me and Jay were big, giant Tennessee football fans, and Tennessee is playing in their bowl game in Orlando, Florida. And when Tennessee got selected, everybody's like, oh, hey, are you going to go down to Orlando and watch Tennessee and then, do Disney at Christmas? And I'm like, there for a brief second, like, yeah, wait, Disney over Christmas? Absolutely not. No, because the crowds, as we're seeing, very people-y right now.
Yeah, it's wild. People. Well, now here's a question I'll ask to all of you as we get into this first exciting article from the Disney parks. How long would you wait for the grand opening of a new Coke kiosk in front of Muppet Vision 3D? And I don't mean cocaine. I mean Coca-Cola Classic. Because I know that would be a different story.
Zero.
It almost became a different show.
So This is an article from blogmickey.com. It says Imagineering files for permit to install a sign at Grand Avenue Coke kiosk. Now, as you read the article, it actually goes on to say that there's still no confirmation of what this kiosk is going to be. If you haven't seen it, they've built a permanent structure, which kind of, I got to say, I didn't realize it was going to be so tall or so big. And it does change. I mean, if you go around it, you still get the nice view of the Piggy Fountain and the Muppet Vision 3D facade and all that. But like, if you're back a little bit further on Grand Avenue, you're getting your views of Muppet Vision and the Muppet Plaza are kind of blocked by this thing. But we still don't know necessarily what it is. I'm assuming it's just going to be food and drink. I mean, they've always had like temporary stuff there anyway. Yeah. Could be coffee. I don't think it's just going to be soda.
In the newsroom business, we would call this a fluff or filler story.
Right.
This is nothing.
Again, I went and looked. It's like, sure, there has to be something else we could. Nope. This is definitely a news story you talk about when you are in between the week of Christmas and New Year's and actual stuff happening. But this is a very big kiosk.
Yeah.
Kind of, and to Jay's point, it really does mess with the, for the lack of a better term, view of Muppet Vision, and it kind of hides Muppet Vision. But I kind of think it might work to Muppet Vision's advantage, because on previous episodes we talked about how, you know, maybe they'll just knock down Muppet Vision and extend Galaxy's Edge through the back. I kind of feel like they wouldn't be building up this kiosk if they had plans to build up Galaxy's Edge, because they would be like, cool, look at our new Star Wars land. They wouldn't hide it behind, cool, look at our new Coke kiosk. Hiding our cool new Star Wars land.
That's true. That's a good point. And it does match the facade of the area.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. It has the brick look of the Muppet Vision Theater. So, yeah, that's a good point. Maybe that's the big thing we take away from this, is it looks like at least it gives a little more staying power to that area. So,
yeah.
But we still don't know what it is. It'll be churros. Let's be honest.
Could be another Joffrey's.
Wrong part.
All right. And that'll wrap up Walt Disney World News for 2023. Stephers, I feel like I need to throw it over to you, because the big news over the last week or so, couple of weeks, has come out of Universal. And I'm talking Universal globally, not Universal Orlando. So why don't you tell us what's going on with the Universal Studios parks?
Well, I think this is interesting because I don't know if y'all remember from earlier in the year, Universal did a rebrand where they changed it to Universal Destinations and Experiences. So really, that should have been our hint. But we were so close-minded back then that we didn't think that they would have the potential to build a theme park. Actually, this is actually pretty smart. In the UK. And I'm going to say it like it sounds, but I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Bedfordshire.
Yeah. That's close enough.
That's what it looks like. Don't know if that's how you pronounce it. That's my bad if I completely butchered that. But yeah,
like
there's
an
a
angry
potential.
Scotsman.
I don't think I could do that either.
Bedfordshire.
Oh, side note though, me and Jackson did watch all 3 Lord of the Rings extended editions as our new Christmas tradition.
Oh.
And it was quality.
On Christmas Day?
We started it Friday. We started the first one, then Saturday we did the second one, and then Tuesday we did the third one, because we were spreading it out, because that's 4 hours.
12 and a half hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're actually still watching it right now. It's that long.
That's awesome.
But so going back to the UK Universal project, my question is though, what are we doing in the UK?
I think you
Anarchy in the UK.
Yeah, God save the
building
Queen.
a Lord of the Rings land.
Yeah.
Like, is this where we're gonna get it? Because I think they're already doing some sort of expansion for Wizarding World in Epic Universe. Says rumors. Let me say says rumors. Let me not put that out.
No, we know it. We've seen the portal. There's a big wand on top of it. I think it's going to be Harry Potter.
Let me not.
Wouldn't Lord of the Rings go in Australia? Because that's where they shot that stuff.
New Zealand.
But yeah.
Same thing.
They already have like a little Hobbiton tourist.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is a lot. I mean, this is a very big generalization, but I think like the UK is a good central point considering like who visits from over there and comes here. Now we would go over there.
Where the author was from.
J.K.
Like
not J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
R. Tolkien. Sorry.
Disconnect.
Oh my god.
Whoops.
Disconnect. Disconnect right now. I mean, this is something like Jackson would love to go to. Like, I think he would be more obsessed with this kind of park than anything else.
So
I'm excited for the potential.
So do you really think it'll have some sort of like an anchor theme like that rather than just being like a studios park that combines a lot of IPs? I know it doesn't say.
Looking at this map, there's like a map on this BBC article. It genuinely depends on how big they're going to make it. Because it could be a very much like that Vegas, was it Vegas or whatever? They're doing like the little small, like the kids park or like the haunted thing year round or whatever. Like it could be something small like that. And then, I think they would need one staple theme.
Yeah.
If they're doing something larger scale, which doesn't seem likely in my opinion, then they could do, but what would they do that's different than what we already have or what we're getting with Epic? Because they want something new, but not deter from Epic.
It's difficult to judge the size of this land because they don't have like a kilometer to inches kind of measurement, but it doesn't look massive.
No,
it does not.
I will say that it did say Universal purchased 480 acres, and just for a comparison, the Universal Orlando Resort occupies 541. So it's, 60 shy of the Universal Orlando Resort, which, I mean, that's pretty sizable.
But you got to register in parking and all other
I was going
to that they need.
Right, but also
resort?
But also I'm talking this is the whole that we're talking about Island Studios Volcano Bay. It's the whole resort is what I'm saying. 541 acres. So 480 is pretty sizable.
I stand corrected.
And then also looking at this article, I think location-wise, this is a really smart get by Universal because in the article, it says the transportation connectivity to London and Europe, more than half of the UK population is within 2 hours of this property that it located. And it's also apparently proximity pretty close to Luton Airport as well. So, I mean, not only is a lot of the UK going to be able to get there relatively easy, international travel or, people that can't get there by, land to transportation because, you have to remember over there, they have better mass transportation than we do over here in the United States. I think that is a very good spot for what Universal wants to do. And I honestly think we're going to get kind of similar to what we've been seeing in Orlando in Universal Hollywood. And I would be stunned if we don't see a very, very big presence of Harry Potter, just with how heavily Universal has leaned into the Wizarding World, because Wizarding World has just been printing money hand over fist for Universal at this point.
They could do more of a Cursed Child, not off brand.
No,
they could.
No,
listen, they could.
They could. I hope they don't.
Listen. I'm just trying to think, how much of Harry Potter can you do? I mean, the answer is probably a lot. You can pull things out of the air, whatever. But
Hollywood's tried to pull Harry Potter out of the air now that the books have been tapped.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying.
By the way,
some of this.
There's somewhat conflicting reports on the size of the Universal footprint. So, according to Orlando Informer, and I know you trust them more than most people, Stephers, the whole campus of Universal Orlando is 735 acres. So this is a little over, it's like 2/3 of that, 480. So.
Well, which is still, considering how much they've grown, et cetera, I still think 480 or whatever you said is still a good size. I'm just thinking, would they do a water park? You know what I mean? Would they do a water park potentially? Would they do a one dry, one water kind of wombo combo? Then themed hotels. There's just a lot of different.
I don't know if they have the climate for a while.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm not sure.
I was about to ask. This is probably something that people like Lee
Indoor?
could really chime in on. And I don't know if the parks in these areas, are they seasonal? Are they year-round?
That's another question. That's very valid.
Mm-hmm.
I just there are like options, but also how much is too much?
Well, this is not a new risk for Universal. They've tried a bunch of other stuff, like a Saudi Arabia park, which never actually happened, or was it Abu Dhabi? I don't remember. It's somewhere out there. Then there was there a Singapore Universal that never happened?
Oh, maybe. I mean, they do, but they do have other parks outside of the U.S., right?
Yeah, isn't there Universal Japan? Isn't that the only place you can still ride the Jaws ride?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Back to the Future, I think?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or is it Terminator 2?
I know at one point Back to the Future was still there when it shut down stateside.
The answer is yes.
Yep. Yeah. So Disneyland Paris is open every day of the year, just as a comparison. So I don't know. They could do it. I think that they have to be somewhat thoughtful about providing a lot of indoor options. You know, they can't do a ton of outdoor stuff, or not like, you know, LA or Orlando anyway. So, but yeah, I don't know. It's really exciting. I think that
1000%.
Yeah. I mean, Universal's making moves, Stephers. That's what we've been saying that for the last several months on the podcast since we came back, like with Epic Universe and adding a park potentially in the UK. Although this article that we've got from BBC, it does say that it's very preliminary. There's a long way to go, but I guess that a letter was sent to residents of Bedfordshire just to let them know, hey, Universal's in town and we've got, you know, we're doing some work to do a feasibility study and see if this is something that can be done and have some legs here. I guess, you know, as long as there's no, I don't even want to put this out in the world, global pandemic that slows things down or something like that, then sorry.
That's ridiculous. That would never happen.
Sorry, I even said it.
I do think this is a very big push for their, like, because everyone still knows Universal as like Universal Orlando, Universal Japan, like they're very separate. And I think this is their way of putting themselves, quote unquote, on the map for being a destinations kind of brand instead of just each separate one. I mean, I think it would be good. I also to echo Landon's point, I really do think like this is a good spot to do it.
Yeah.
Not that Paris is bad for Disneyland Paris. People love Disneyland Paris, but I think it's spread out enough. People can do like a whole like Europe thing if they want.
Yeah.
Possibilities.
You mentioned Disneyland Paris, and it reminds me about the local backlash. Do we have any word of how the area itself is responding to this?
Not so far.
In the article, it does mention the Bedford Borough Council is welcoming it so far, saying it could potentially be the UK's answer to Disneyland. So we talked about how Disneyland Paris has already set up Disney's foothold in Paris, how it was met with some backlash. So far, again, this is in the very preliminary just announcement stage. So far, so good, it seems like. But again, with how early this is in the planning process, a lot could change.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot will change.
A lot will change, yeah. I think the kickback you would have more so on the UK side is going to be more along the lines of, you know, it's a country that's much more steeped in history and tradition, as compared to like the US, where we don't have culture or history or tradition here. So I'm just kidding. God bless the USA.
Man, we're gonna get some fun iTunes reviews for that one.
But in Paris,
what's
the
his Twitter handle, folks?
But
yeah, right.
but
he's gonna have to get a new one now.
But
again.
You know, yeah, I'll get banned again. But in Paris, you know, the big thing was like they're very steeped in their culture and art, and they felt like, oh, we don't want to welcome this sort of nonsense into our country because it just doesn't fit our country's personal culture and pride. So that was I don't know that the UK has that same kind of objection. I just think it would be more like, yeah, but you know, you're tearing up like maybe it's just open space, but even so, like, I don't know, maybe they don't want that kind of crowd drawn into north of London.
That's fair. In terms of the crowds, I think though, And maybe I'm very much generalizing this, but I do think with their execution of the Wizarding World in terms of where it's supposed to be set and stuff like that, I think the theming, in case there's any backlash or whatever in terms of like keeping the culture and all that stuff, I do think Universal could execute great theming that fits the vibe.
Yeah.
So
that's true. That's true. It's a good point.
Maybe. We'll see. Lots will change.
A lot of question marks, a lot up in the air, but I don't know. It's exciting news. I think that anytime we're hearing about theme parks expanding and growing, it's good for all of us because it's more options, it's more competition, and yeah,
absolutely.
So I'm anxious to see what we find out, and I don't know that we'll get a lot of news on it in 2024. I think that'll be maybe more focused on all the things happening in Epic Universe. But oh my gosh, speaking of that, did you see they unveiled the Yoshi ride vehicles? You can see like aerial pictures of them now, and
I'm so excited for this park.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah, you can see the little Yoshi ride vehicles, and also they've been operating, like test operating a How to Train Your Dragon ride. Stuff is moving at Epic Universe. Yeah. Things are moving. Wow. It's crazy. Yeah. It'll be here before you know it.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, really good stuff.
She is so cute. Sorry. I'm just so...
Oh, that's adorable.
It's going to be so great.
Everybody, we're all going to Google. So, while the crew here checks out the Yoshi ride vehicles on Google, we're going to take a break. Skipper Bob is here today for a very special reason. He and I went over to Disney Springs and got to try out one of the newest dining locations in the Springs, and we have a review for you on the other side of the break. So stick with us, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Monorail. It's me, Papa Monorail, Justin Monorail, bringing you back on the other side. I've got Stephers, I've got the Dawes, and I've got Skipper Bob. And Skipper Bob is here, as I mentioned, as a special guest, a special expert, a special voice to help me recap a trip to Disney Springs that we took this last week. Skipper Bob, I reached out to you. We were talking this week. We were like, hey, let's get together. Let's have a holiday drink. And that was all the temptation I needed to get down to Disney Springs and finally try out this newest location that opened up over on the far side, like as close as you can get to Saratoga Springs, practically. They opened this new quick serve dining location called Eat by Manish Chauhan, who is a celebrity chef that was a judge on Chopped. And this restaurant is actually a product of her and her husband's work. And I've been dying to get there. And so, first of all, thank you, Bob, for giving me the inspiration. But the only downside was we went to Disney Springs during the holiday season, which meant that it was as jam-packed and people-y as I think I've ever seen Disney Springs. Like, it was hard to move through anywhere. And we made the mistake of parking over in the Orange Garage, which said it was full, by the way, but it wasn't. They had on the signs. I never believe that. Yeah, it said garage full. They even said surface parking was full. But we just went on into the Orange Garage. We were able to park on the roof. But then to get from the garage just over, and this basically, you pass, if you're coming from that side, you pass Earl of Sandwich. You get all the way to like the Christmas store, and it's actually attached to the Christmas store building. But it's over on the other side of it. So
it's hidden off in the corner of the Springs, like behind Rainforest Cafe.
You can see the carousel from it. So if you're at the carousel at Disney Springs, you could get on a horse and then just look around, and you'll see Eat tucked away in it's hard to find. And by the way, because of that, even though Springs was jam-packed and crazy, there was plenty of seating and Eat, and there was no line. So if you're a person who likes Indian food or is open to Indian food, this is a nice little hidden gem. Even though it's a brand new place, we were able to get in, get our food. We got a nice table. It wasn't crowded. It was great. It was a nice little oasis from all the craziness that was going on in Disney Springs.
Yeah, it's a nice little nook and cranny that I think because there's a lot of trepidation about some people see Indian food as like, oh, I don't want any of that cuisine when there's all these other options around Disney Springs. But I highly recommend this place. I mean, not only was the food good, the service was some of the best I've ever seen. We had people coming over to our table like every 8 to 12 minutes. Like, hey, can we get you anything? Hey, do you want this? You want that? Hey, how can we make your stay any better? They were top notch for the size of the venue itself. So this isn't exactly a quick service, but it's not exactly a full reservation dining experience either. It's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, they describe it as fast casual, and I think that's a good way to describe it. You do seat yourself, you order at a counter, so from that aspect, it's quick service. But like Bob said, that was one of the biggest things that stood out for me for this experience was the service. I have never had that kind of service at a quick service location. Like they were so friendly. And also we needed a little bit of help with one of the dishes we ordered. We weren't quite sure how to eat it. And so
you looked at it. This looks fantastic. What do I do with it?
How do I do it? What do I do? So one of the attendants like came over and explained to us, oh, this is how you do it. You do this, you do that, and gave us some tips on like even the best ways to enjoy it. So I'm telling you that like I could not give high enough praise for the service that we got at the restaurant. That is like right off the bat. It was surprise, and maybe I hope this isn't just because this place has only been open for like 2 weeks kind of thing. I'm hoping that this is how it's always going to be there. But man, oh man, they tell you, they're like, hey, if you need straws, you get your sodas, all this stuff. It's all located over here. We've got lids for the boxes. If you stand up from your table to go get something, one of the
like a red flag for them.
One of the cast members will come over and be like, hey, what can I get for you? And they go do it. They want to help you. Like it was really nice. So I will say the food, and we'll get to it. The food was amazing, but that service was enough reason to like go back again. Seriously. It was amazing.
Some people would say, oh, that would seem kind of annoying to have a cast member coming over to your table so frequently. No, not at all.
No, it wasn't.
It felt very inviting. It was very welcoming. It made me want to go right back again.
Yeah.
Of course, once the holidays are over, because the fact I even went to that area of town in between Christmas and New Year's was kind of a minor miracle. I stay away from that as far as I can. But, the allure of Justin was a little too much to ignore.
That's right.
He said, hey, let's go out. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm really glad we did. So I have a question for you, Stephers. Are you a fan of Indian food? I think you said before that you eat just about anything, so.
Absolutely. I love Indian food.
Nice.
I actually was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Going back to the service. You said that there wasn't much of a wait.
No wait.
Or anything like that. Do you think that you would still, I mean, this is just speculation, obviously, but do you think you would also, because you guys know the vibes better than us because you were there, if there were more people there, do you think you would still get that same amount of, like, that level of service if there were more people occupying the place?
I'm going to say yes. I got there maybe 30 minutes before Justin, so I was just standing around looking at the menu and just watching the venue. And it was kind of full when I first showed up, and it kind of thinned out over time. And it seemed like everybody came out really happy. Everyone was satisfied. So yeah, I'm assuming, I'm hoping it's not just because it's in its opening honeymoon phase. I hope it maintains this service the entire time.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that you say that, but like, I feel like after the first week, I've worked in food service, and I feel like most people have at some point in their life, and I think like it's like a first week itch, and then like it dies off. But I feel like you guys have gotten where it's been open for a little bit, because it was open when I went down there too. And if you're getting that good of service still, I think there's a very positive direction.
Yeah,
for sure.
I would be happy to test this theory in a month from now.
Yeah, me too. I'll go back and take an even bigger group and just see how we do. Yeah.
You're going to do the stress test, I see.
That's right. All right. Yeah.
I've seen enough bar rescues. I know what that means.
Yeah.
Skipper Bob will go in there, shut this down! Screaming like John Taffer.
My comment to that, Stephers, would be I just think because it was overly staffed, at least while we were there, for the level of people that were dining at the time that we were dining. I would think that one of the reasons that, because usually a cast member would come over and help us, but then would also like talk to us about the food and ask us questions, and the length of the interactions maybe wouldn't be quite as long, and maybe the touch points would be a little more spread out. But I think this is part of that restaurant. I think this is something they want to be known for, is this service. That's the impression I got. So,
well, I think with something like this kind of food, I think being available to answer those questions, like when you guys are like, I don't know how to eat this kind of thing, I think that's important. So it's nice to know that like the vibe was, hey, they'll still be available to help you no matter what. Yeah.
I also think
one thing I'm curious about is if the kind of food that we got, is this like everyday normal Indian food, or has this been Disneyfied where it's generalized, it's theme park friendly for everybody? Kind of like fast food. You know, you get a spicy chicken sandwich from a fast food restaurant, you take a bite, it's like, this isn't spicy at all. That's what I refer to as fast food spicy. Mm-hmm. It's been dulled down for the masses.
Yeah.
Was it spicy?
Not super not overly spicy, no.
It was dulled down spice.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing.
Usually you get like a range, you pick your level of spiciness. Mm-hmm. Usually people want their butts to hurt after they eat, but like this is probably for like crowd levels.
Are you going?
Anyway, in terms of like being able to serve crowds faster, they probably do like one set level.
Yeah, they didn't ask. They didn't ask about.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's not like authentic. I just think in terms, because I know Indian food's typically known for like spice levels and kind of that kind of thing. I'm sure like that's probably not on par, but taste wise.
Well, I would say in my experience with Indian, I think you're right. Like part of it is the heat spice, but then it's also just very flavorful spice, and sometimes that's way too much for people as well. When you get into the curries, like that can put people off because it's very pungent, it's very flavorful. I love curries of all types. Mm-hmm. But I know that can sort of be. I will say I felt like the flavors were very, very good. But I think the spice was. If you're someone who's sensitive to spice, like there were a couple things we got that are marked as spicy on the menu. If you're sensitive to spice, you probably would have called that spicy, and you're like, no, I can't. But for me, who like I want pain with my spice, I thought it was medium.
See?
I thought it was
That's
like
normal.
Yeah, I thought it was like medium.
Well, liking pain and then wanting your butt to hurt, I think are two different things, Stephers. And we can't get into those differences on a family show, Stephers.
Listen.
Yeah.
No, we are not listening.
I want to poop battery acid.
I did not say all that. However,
there are times after
audio podcast.
There are times after I have a good spicy meal that's like at the right spice level for me. I'm like, I think my butt just turned into a blowtorch. Like that's what it feels like to me.
Wow, this conversation is taking a turn.
It's still family friendly, sir. You were worried about it being family friendly. No. We looked at the menu when we were first talking about this, and a lot of it were dishes that I was familiar with. I think the one thing that I was very, very curious about was the build your bowl vibe. So I'm very excited to see.
See, when I saw BYOB on the menu, I thought it meant bring your own Bob, which is why I asked Skipper Bob to come with me.
Smart.
Yeah.
You're prepared.
That was awful.
But yeah, so just talking, if we switch over to focus on what we did actually try, so our approach, so it was me and Casey and Bob, and our approach was really, hey, we're gonna get as many things as we can. We're gonna share everything and just try it. So Casey and I basically ordered all of the shareables on the menu. Well, Bob got one of the only thing we didn't get was samosas, and I'm actually really upset we didn't get samosas. I don't know why we didn't do that.
Reason to go back.
Yeah, a reason to go back, absolutely.
Because you needed another one.
Yeah. But we did get the bread service with pimento whipped paneer for $18. We got the tandoori chicken poutine for $14. The DIY pani puri for 12 and the walking taco for 12. So those were the shareables we got. And I don't know whether to start with like the headliner here or I don't know what. Basically, if I was going to recommend, if you're going to go, here's what I'll say. If you're going to go to eat and you're only going to eat one thing at Eat, I would say if you get the tandoori chicken poutine, there's no way you're going to be disappointed. First of all, for $14, it is hearty. It's shareable. Like it could fill up 2 people easily. And it is honestly like one of the most delicious things that I've had at Disney Springs. It was so freaking good.
Just the complex of the flavors just bouncing off each other. It was incredible. I mean, I'm not a food critic here, but I'll tell you what. I took one bite. I was melting how good that was.
Yeah, it was almost overwhelming.
I think what you already answered it for this dish. I think portion sizes. My brain like stopped working. Portion sizes, I think, are probably my most like other than the taste. I think that's what I'm most interested in because I am looking at these prices and I'm like, these are standard.
Yeah.
Honestly, for Disney Springs and, theme park food, stuff like that. But if me and Jackson went, like, we would probably get a shareable and then get a meal for ourselves. So this is solid.
Well, I'm just telling you that if you and Jackson got the tandoori chicken poutine and you didn't get anything else, I think you could split that in half and it would fill you up. Like between the 3 of us, it was our favorite thing and we couldn't finish it. Like it was.
Couldn't finish anything.
Yeah. We didn't finish anything because we got so much food, but
I mean,
now when you say you didn't finish anything, is that speaking to how much food you ordered and you just tried a little bit of everything, or is that speaking you didn't finish anything, speaking to the sizes of the of what you ordered?
More to the first, but I remember one of the employees was telling us that the poutine was very filling, and he was not wrong. It was absolutely just a few bites.
It's heavy.
And with all the other food, we were just sampling left and right.
And
we had food left over in every plate.
Yeah. Yeah. And just if you're wondering, like, what is tandoori chicken poutine? So it's chopped masala fries, tandoori chicken, white cheddar curds, and rich tomato butter sauce. When they say white cheddar curds, what that actually means is a thick layer of white cheddar cheese melted over the entire top of it, so much that like it was like a large cheese pizza worth of cheddar cheese melted over the whole like dish. It was
cheese,
and like you got the whole cheese pull. Like if you dug in there, got some fries, got a piece of chicken, and pulled it out, it's nice stretchy cheese. I'm just telling you, it was so good.
Oh my god, Fat Man happy.
It was so good.
Well, to hear that was the one item I remember when we were breaking down the menu. That was the one thing that jumped off to me. So to hear y'all coming away raving about that to echo Skipper Bob, that makes this fat man happy.
Yeah, yeah. So Bob, this was the one that presented a challenge. Bob ordered the DIY pani puri, and so bless me. And so it came out 7 pieces of this crispy semolina puffs, and they're basically like hollow puffs. They're about the size, not even a slider.
The top of it, and it's like a miniature bowl.
Yeah, it's a tiny bowl. It fits in your hand. Then you get this black garbanzo bean. It comes in like a jar, and it's a black garbanzo bean, almost like a dip. There's potatoes,
fun word to say, garbanzo.
Tamarind, date chutney, and mint cilantro water, which comes out in a tiny little cute bottle. And I kept saying, "Oh, you got a little side drink. You're just supposed to, drink it." No, you're not supposed to drink it.
Oh, I'm so thankful I didn't try. Because that one person in the back of my mind's like, "Do it, do it,
Yeah.
Just down it."
It's like whenever you order sushi and they bring out that mint sauce for you to cleanse your palate after you eat your sushi. Just take that whole glob and eat it.
Yeah.
There's a palate cleanser after sushi?
Yes, Stephers, and you should eat it. The green stuff.
It's delicious.
Pistachio ice cream. Why not?
Yep. I believe it's called wasabi.
Yes. I take those by the spoonful.
There you go. Yep.
So Bob ordered this when it came out, and it's the plating is of everything looked great, but we looked at it and we're like, how do you eat? What are you supposed to do with this? Because it's in so many pieces.
I felt like I was sitting in front of a Lego set without the instructions.
Yeah.
I ordered it on the fly. It's like, I don't know what almost half this stuff is. So I'm just going to take a chance. We're here. We're experimenting. Let's try it. The Panty Purry. Yeah, sure. And then I get this bowl of stuff, and it comes with a spoon and the little side shot of gray liquid. I didn't know what that was. It's like, is there a proper way to do this? Am I going to, like, incite some kind of riot if I do it the wrong way?
Well, what's really funny is if we had not asked for instructions on how we were supposed to do it, I think that my instinct would have been to pour, because it almost looks like you've got a big bowl of cereal in front of you because you've got these little crispy potato things. I was like, just pour it in there like cereal and just crunch everything together.
I'm so glad you asked for help. That would have been a completely different experience, in my opinion.
Yeah. But they did tell us, like, one of the best pieces of advice, because essentially what you do is you take the puff, you kind of crack out the top, and then you load all of the toppings, all the side things into it, and then pour the mint cilantro water on top of it. And then the best piece of advice we got from the cast member was, you want to try to take that in one bite, because if you don't, you're going to get that all over you. And
yeah, plus the puff is like really thin layered, so that sauce is going to go right through it.
Yeah.
You want to pour it over the bowl.
Yeah. So we did, and it was good. I really liked it. It was an interesting, a unique dish. I just have to say everything that we had was a bit overshadowed by the tandoori chicken poutine. But it was still really good. Like if someone was curious and wanted to try it, I would recommend it. For me, it was not second place in terms of the shareables, but, it still was a worthy, like if I wouldn't tell someone not to get it. I thought it was good. So
you're really selling it, Justin. You're really selling it.
Well, it is a lot of work.
It's like poutine, and then it's like it's bad.
Yeah.
Try it, but also the poutine. I'm really just excited for this poutine now.
Yeah, poutine apparently is the S tier of what you've experienced from Eid. I am curious. Y'all got the bread service, and I know there are some very famous bread services served throughout the other areas of Walt Disney. How does that compare to those bread service experiences?
Okay, so I've thought a lot about this and talked a lot with Casey about this since we had it, because I want to be fair to the bread service at Eat. So here's the problem. When you get bread service at a lot of the other places, it's different. It's unique. This bread service is very similar to what you get at Sanaa. The problem is, at Sanaa, you're at a signature table service restaurant, and you would expect that bread service to be a signature table service bread service. And it is. This is very good, but I keep trying to compare it to Sanaa, and you can't do it because you get less naan bread and there's less dips with this one. It is a lower price point, so you got to factor that in, and it's a quick service location. The naan is really good. There were some very good dips. You get, let's see, there were 6. There's masala or Indian pickle, coriander, honey chutneys. Those are all things. But we got like 6 dips. There's this big chunk of the pimento whipped paneer cheese, which is different because you don't get that with the Sanaa bread service, and that was really good. But I could not rank this above the Sanaa bread service or the bread service that you get at Tiffin's. So if you're expecting that, you're going to be disappointed. If you go in expecting a bread service you would get at a quick service place, then I think you're going to like it, especially if you like naan. The naan bread's good. What did you think, Bob? Am I being fair or unfair?
No, it's definitely its own thing. It's not fair to compare it to other bread services. But it sounds mean when I say it's probably, from everything we ordered, might be the lowest on the list, but not because it was bad. It was good. It's just everything else was so much better.
I'll say it like this. I don't think you would go to Eat for the bread service, whereas some people go to Sanaa for the bread service.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that.
If that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Yeah. It's still good. And if you like naan bread, and it is, it's a cheaper price point, and it's good. It's shareable. Like there was plenty. You get 2 big pieces of naan. And that pimento whipped paneer cheese was really good. If you're a fan of cheese, especially pimento cheese, like you would like that. But setting
that combination, I actually really like the naan with the cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. So just level setting expectations a little bit. Yeah.
All right.
Now, but we're going to finish on a high note because the other shareable we got was the walking taco. I was so pleasantly surprised by this. It's almost a little bit of a trip, like a mental trip when you eat it, because you're expecting Indian, like you're at an Indian restaurant and you've got Indian flavors all combined into this walking taco, and it has all the elements of what you'd expect of a walking taco. But when you eat it, you're getting like an Indian flavor experience. It's so interesting. And like, it was delicious. It's $12. And again, it's a shareable. They serve it like in an open, Indian crunch puff bag with all the spice, or all the chili and pico de gallo, the chutney, the cheese. It's all in there mixed together. It's like eating a Frito pie, or if you know a Petro or something like that, it's like that.
What's a Frito pie? Never mind. I'll Google it later.
Stephers, you're
I'll
missing
Google
out
it
if you've
later.
never had a Frito pie. Come on.
Yeah.
When I first took a bite of that, I honestly thought it was flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Yeah. The little Indian puff snacks do sort of taste like that when it's all mixed together. I think of the shareables we got, this one was the spiciest.
Oh, sorry. I just Googled Frito pie, and I have seen that before. Didn't know that that's what it was called.
Yeah.
Well, of all the shareables that you've listed and talked about so far, looking at the menu, this is the only one that of the ingredients listed out, it has something that specifies spicy in it with the spicy pork chili. So I guess that makes sense. This would be the spiciest of the shareables that you had.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're looking for a little bite,
Was there jalapeno slices in that walking
there were
taco?
jalapenos in it. Yeah. On top. So that added to it. But yeah, it was great. And again, portion size wise, definitely shareable. It was plenty of food for more than one person. You could eat that as an entree, and I'm sure you'd have like leftover, unless you're a big eater. Maybe you could probably finish it. But for me, like I would share that. I would share with somebody, mostly because I want to try other stuff. But it was really good. It was, sure. Exactly. I would get that again. For me, if I were to go back and I had to pick two of these, I would get the poutine and the walking taco again without even thinking about it. So, $12 for walking taco. The price is nice. Now,
Price. Nice. Sorry.
Now, on the entree side, we did get one of the salads. We got the street style puffed rice salad. This was something that, in my opinion, if you're looking for something that's a little cooler taste, a little more refreshing, and maybe with less of the intense like Indian flavors, this is a pretty good choice. It had like a mild taste to it. Had crispy puffed rice, mango, strawberry, potato, cilantro, tamarind chutney, and mint chutney. And it was good. I don't know that I would say, like, if someone was like, oh, give me your recommendation at the restaurant, like, what should I get? I don't know that I would say go for this unless you were looking for something that was a little lighter and felt a little more like fresh and healthier. Maybe go, because the tandoori chicken poutine is not a healthy option. That's probably like 5,000 calories at least.
Listen, hold on.
It to a cheese pizza.
Hold on a second. Maybe, however, it's less calories when you share it.
For sure.
And then calories don't count on vacation.
Well, that's true.
And every time you go to Disney Springs, no matter if you're a local, it's a vacation. So really, theme park math states less calories.
Bob, did you
just saying?
How can you argue with that?
That's right.
Logic. I'm just saying.
Science.
Yeah. Well, Bob, did you get to try the street style puff rice salad?
I did. It was kind of like, it was definitely, I didn't realize there was strawberry in it until I'm just now reading it, but I definitely tasted the mango and the mint chutney, and yeah, this is something I would recommend for my wife, who at the sight of black pepper says, no, that's too spicy for me, I can't. I would probably recommend this for her.
Okay. Yeah, so if you're looking for something on the milder side, and like I said, maybe a little healthier option, I think it's good. By the way, nothing we had was bad. It's just that we had a couple of things that just like set the bar so high that that it's hard to like equal that. And again, $12. Like that's a good price for an entree sized salad at Disney Springs. And then so Bob built his own bowl. So Bob, tell us about the bowl that you put together.
Yeah, I wanted to. I saw the build your own bowl and all the choices it had. And I was a little overwhelmed because some of these things I recognize, some I don't. Fresh salad greens, I don't know what the hell that is. But I had the turmeric rice cauliflower, which was, and then you had to pick your own kebab, which I went with the cilantro shrimp. But there's also the masala roasted cauliflower and the tandoori chicken, which now that I say that, I actually try that next time. Also the paneer tikka.
Tikka.
How
Yeah.
do you say that? What is
Tikka?
Tikka just means pieces of.
Paneer is like cheese cubes.
Yeah, it's like pieces of cheese is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so it's more of like a vegan flavor or vegan option.
Paneer is so good.
But I
Now
went with
I'm
the
hungry.
shrimp, and I always realize that's kind of a gamble because some places I've ordered from, they don't cut the tails off the shrimp, and they throw it in like a pasta, and they expect me to take the tails off. It's a thing with me. Sorry. And then I have to pick a sauce, and honestly, with the rice cauliflower and the shrimp, I just played Russian roulette, and I asked the cast members, like, what do you suggest? And she went through everything with me, and I was like, you know what? The mole sounds the best with the golden coconut curry sauce. That was a good choice in my opinion. I really enjoyed that. But there was also the cashew saffron sauce, the korma. There's also the tikka again, the aromatic buttery tomato sauce. It sounds good just saying. The seg, which is a rich earthy spinach sauce, which again sounds great. And the bua, which is the classic Indian curry sauce. All of those sound wonderful. So I don't think you can go wrong with any of them.
Did it come already on your meal, or was it on the side and you like dipped or poured, or what was the vibe?
Everything was in a single bowl, and it was kind of like in its own little corner, like a wrestling ring, and you just had to mix it up like a Texas tornado death match.
So like, I don't know if you've ever eaten at Kava, but it's like a Mediterranean Chipotle. But like they have the base, the starchy base, and then they have like quadrants of it. It sounds very similar.
Yeah, I think it's probably similar.
It does.
You know what's funny though is before you joined, I was reading this and I saw that you guys got the shrimp, and I like looked at Justin. And I was like, shrimp, very interesting choice. I feel like theme park shrimp, I'm putting this in air quotes, is a very questionable choice. Just because
It's risky.
theme parks. But I'm glad to hear it was a more positive experience, because shrimp is very easy to cook, but also very easy to mess up, in my opinion.
I agree.
So I'm glad to hear that it was a good experience with it. And I think you went with
Stephers.
a good sauce.
Yeah,
with the
it was a
coconut
good
curry
At this
sauce
point
for
in my
sure.
age, I think I've lived a good enough life so I can take it.
Yeah, and
mean-
I appreciated that you went with the riced cauliflower as well, because that's something I would have wanted to try, and I don't know that I would have necessarily ordered it myself right away, because I love basmati rice so much. So this was a bowl that I wouldn't have put together, but I'm glad you did. Bob shared his bowl. I was able to try it, and it was very good. If you like that coconut curry sauce, it's nice and smooth and creamy, and I mean, it was again, this was on the milder side. It wasn't spicy. It was a nice little cool off from all the spiciness that we got from the walking taco. It was good. I liked it a lot.
So on a scale, no, you go first.
I'm sorry. The shrimp count, usually you order these kind of things and it's like 3 shrimp.
Yeah.
No, this thing had a good amount, probably a good dozen shrimp in it. And they're not the miniature popcorn. They're not the jumbo prawns either. They're just the regular everyday Walmart
good size shrimp.
That's good to know. In terms of the cauliflower rice, not something I particularly gravitate to, because I've tried it multiple times and I just cannot bring myself to enjoy cauliflower rice. Texture-wise, like, it on tier of, I don't know if you've had a lot of cauliflower rice, but like, would it rank pretty high on your list of cauliflower rice? Like, would you tell the difference other than the obvious, like, it's cauliflower and not basmati rice?
I would not have been able to pinpoint that if my life depended on it. I'd never heard of rice cauliflower before, and I figured, we're trying new stuff. Let's spin that wheel. Let's see what we land on.
I think the fact that you enjoyed it either way is a good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had cauliflower rice. We get it sometimes as a good base. Like if we're making grilled chicken and broccoli or something, we'll have cauliflower rice. And I think cauliflower rice smells like a fart most of the time. And And
No, that's just me.
oh, well, I was going to say in this case, I didn't smell it. But you know, you've got a lot of smells going on in an Indian restaurant, a lot of good smells. But I mean, I could tell it wasn't rice, but it had a good texture to it. It wasn't like unsettling or mushy or anything like that. It was,
Okay.
Yeah, it was
That's good to know because a lot of people are texture eaters.
Yeah.
I'm not really one of them. Like I will kind of just eat to eat. But it's interesting to know, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's too mushy, or oh, this is like blood in your mouth, or
No.
blood in your nose, or it smells like a fart. Good to know it doesn't. I do eat with my nose before I like actually taste something, so that would have probably turned me off. But
Oh, I smell things. Yeah. I love this.
Yes,
I do. I take a big smell before I eat things usually too. So, but yeah, no farts were detected on this day.
so glad.
Go ahead and print that on the menu.
That's the selling point. No farts.
Hey, and turmeric is very good for you, so
It
I
is.
like the fact that they have like a healthy cauliflower rice option, and they have turmeric. So
Yeah.
like,
It's an
I do think I would
anti-inflammatory,
try.
I think.
Oh, another question I had: are you able to like add additional, like if you wanted to add another kebab, or if you wanted to like half portion things, or like what's the vibe with that kind of thing?
I don't remember seeing that option, and I never even thought about that, but now that you say it, that's definitely something I would like to ask if I ever try
Yeah.
this again. Like do the chicken and the roasted cauliflower maybe. Just change it up.
Yeah, because like the Kava restaurant that I mentioned, like you could do like a half green, half grain bowl. So like you could get like a base of greens, and so it'll be like half portions of the rice and half portions of the greens kind of thing. So I was curious if they would do it for
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that either. But based on
another reason to go back.
exactly, yeah, I would say it never hurts to ask. That's always the approach I take with things like that. So
And the staff was so friendly, they probably would accommodate you.
yeah. One last thing I forgot to mention is we didn't even talk about drinks. The drink that I got, they have their own like house IPA that I tried, and it was delicious. It was really, really good. Casey ordered this. It was like a canned wine, and I can't remember the brand. I want to say Underwood, but I don't know if that was right. But the reason she ordered that was because if you ordered the canned wine, you got an exclusive eat koozie with the canned wine that you can't get anywhere else. So she was like, well, then I'm definitely ordering the canned wine. And so it's really cool. It's a really nice koozie, perfect for those little wine, those little skinny canned wine cans. So
Yeah, it was about the size of a Celsius can.
yeah, it would fit a Celsius. Yeah, for sure. So
This isn't Alani, but I am showing the said can size on the screen for an audio podcast. Landon, I know.
So anyway, I don't know how long they'll do that, but if you go, in the next little bit, they might still have those koozies, and you can get an exclusive eat koozie, not available anywhere else. And if you're an IPA fan, it's an IPA you can't get anywhere else in Disney Springs. So a couple other reasons that might bring you in. Yeah, it was good. I'm telling you, I was thrilled not only by the food, but by the service. And for sure, when I think about just trying to go through my mind about quick service locations in Disney Springs that I've been to, this for me is at the top. It's already at the top of the list. There's a strong lineup of table service restaurants, and there's a brand new one, Summer House on the Lake, that opened up. But I think there was room for a contender in the quick service, and having a fun Indian option is such a good thing. Highly recommend. And if you need any recommendations or have any questions about Eat, let me or Skipper Bob know, and we'll try to help you out.
I have a question or a request for your next venture to eat.
Yes.
Can you also try the boozy slushies and let me know how that is?
Sure.
Those are.
I mean, you don't.
Twist my arm.
Listen, I didn't want to, but I just thought I'd add to your list of things to try in case you didn't have enough.
You heard her, Justin. We got to go. We got to
All
try
right.
it.
Yeah,
All right.
for show research purposes, of course.
We'll see you there tomorrow.
Imagine.
Yeah, I don't even know, because it says seasonal selection on the menu. I don't even know what the seasonal options were this time. I think I didn't notice that they even had those. Oh, they do have a mango yogurt lassi. If you've never had a mango lassi, those are really good too. So That's a good dessert option.
Food.
Our server, well, not the server. I want to say server because he came to our table a lot, but the cast member that helped us learn how to eat the pani puri, he really recommended the cheesecake as well, which we didn't have, but he said it was amazing. So,
I can get down on some cheesecake.
yeah.
I can get down with anything that we've said in this whole podcast episode.
What kind of cheese? Was it just regular Oham cheesecake, or was it like something special to it?
Gulab jamun cheesecake.
I wonder what kind of flavor that is.
I don't know, but it has saffron
Another reason.
and cardamom as well.
Another reason. Another thing to try.
The other thing I think is really interesting here is the pizza, like the flatbreads on the naan bread. So I'd love to try that chicken tikka naan. So that's another thing I'm going to have to, I'll be going back to eat, ladies and gentlemen. I think there's no mystery here.
Or putting someone's
mystery.
kid through college.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad you brought up the flatbread pizza, because all of this does sound good, but like, let's say us four went, y'all three are normal to adventurous eaters. There's always that one in the crowd, and I am that one in the crowd that is kind of the ho-hum plain eater.
Mm-hmm.
Would the one in your party be able to find something to eat at Eat? That non-adventurous eater?
That's hard to say.
Well-
It depends on how picky you are. If you're just a mac and cheese and chicken nuggets kind of person, probably not.
but they do have crispy chicken fingers. So, I mean, it's on the kids menu, and usually at Disney, it's not a big deal. They'll let you order from the kids menu, because why wouldn't they? And they have little sliders too that are just beef patties on Hawaiian rolls with American cheese. So, if nothing else, you could get those. They do have the I think the flatbreads are pretty safe if you wanted to go with a non-flatbread. But because they've got one that's just garlic or buttered. But yeah, I mean, I would say it's not necessarily like if your party is made up of people who aren't necessarily that adventurous or don't really like a lot of those seasonings and flavors, then this is probably not going to work for you. Also, because it's going to smell like an Indian restaurant when you go in there, and some people just don't like the curry smell.
Okay.
So that's something to consider. And they have a little naan pizza that's just cheese and sauce, tomato sauce on naan bread, which that seems pretty safe too. So, I mean, they have those things. They've got the kids menu. It seems it's a little bit funny to say like, well, you're just going to have to order off the kids menu to an adult.
Yes, hi, I'm a 57-year-old man. I'll order off the kids menu, please.
Yeah. But hey, it's an option. I think that's a good point, though. I mean, maybe this isn't it's not going to be for everybody, but if you are someone who likes like bold flavors and spice and smells and stuff, I mean, for me, it was lovely.
I mean, I'll say, just hearing you guys talk, I admit I'm not the most adventurous eater, but hearing you guys talk, this is something I definitely do want to try the next time I'm down. If for nothing else, those poutine fries sound amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. You can't do it justice. It's that good.
Yeah. Yeah. That first bite, you're going to, like, literally, it takes your breath away. Unbelievably good.
Put that on the menu.
Yeah, that'll work. Better than no farts detected.
No farts detected, says Justin Monorail of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast.
All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for today. I mean, I didn't intend for this to be a long episode, and it was, because that's the way we do things. But it is a New Year's episode, and so, maybe tomorrow while you're recovering from your New Year's Eve parties, you can put this on with a little mimosa and just kick back and enjoy a relaxing.
We're drinking more?
Well, yeah, you hair the dog, Stephers.
Yeah, come on.
All right, clearly I just don't live my best life, and I am okay with that.
Tomorrow morning's is the perfect opportunity for a Bloody Mary. That's when you do it, New Year's Day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, anyways.
Well, I've had my share today, the day after the Orange Bowl.
Oof. Yeah, sorry, Bob.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That was a rough watch. I was in a house full of Florida State fans. I will say going into it, none of them had any expectations that it was going to go well, and it did not. So anyway,
I'm proud of myself. I haven't lost my cool at all once and just gone on a cussing tirade over.
Yeah.
Well, that is very good, because that was ugly to watch.
It was. I want to say my heart goes out to Florida State fans because that after the season that you had, that wasn't it, you know. And as a long suffering Tennessee fan who's watched a lot of debacles, I can empathize.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're gonna wrap it up for today. Before we do, let's go around and give out a few New Year's Day plugs, and we'll start with you, Skipper Bob. What have you got? I know you're planning the new show. What would you like to tell people about as we wrap things up today?
I'll just echo what you said at the top of the broadcast. I am Skipper Bob. You can find me on Twitter. Yes, I do still call it Twitter because I am a rebel. You can find me at 8 Second Delay, audio pun. Or you can find me on wrhstudios.com. That is where I post all of my photography and my bookings. Absolutely. Check it out if you want. All the links to all my socials and Patreons and everything else are right there at the top of the screen. Go ahead, check it out. Think you'd enjoy it. I'm just starting out with, I've been doing the photography thing for almost a year now. And it's going good. I love it.
Yeah, man, you've got an eye for sure. You're great at it. Someday I aspire to even have 1 or 2 shots when I go out and take pictures in the parks that look like yours. So you're doing a great job. But yeah,
Thank you.
All the content, go check out Skipper Bob, Cretan's Guild, Skipper Bob's Breakdowns, all good stuff. I also was giving you high praise for your video you made at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail for the Krampus event. That looked really fun.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so Bob got to go out for the media event at Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, and he got to actually take his camera in through some of the mazes and stuff. So it's a really good watch. And if you watch closely, you can see a couple times where Skipper Bob actually did get scared.
Justin, can you just follow me around, be my hype man? Because you're so much better at promoting me than I am myself.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever need it, I can do it for you. I'll make some audio drops for you to put into your show.
Awesome.
All right, Stephers, what about you, ma'am?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hi, hello. Adventures with Stephers. It's me. Not to be confused with Avengers with Stephers, as everyone likes to be confused sometimes. Instagram, TikTok. It's Stephers on Twitter thing, the app with the bird that's not a bird anymore. Adventures with Stephers on all the podcatchers, and it'll probably come out with a new episode soon whenever I decide to record it.
Great. So just watch for it, and it'll happen.
Yeah, you know, when I have to... Yeah, gotta record it first.
If we really believe, and if we clap our hands and say, we believe in Stephers, an episode may appear.
Maybe. I'm gonna try. 2024. That's the push.
All right. Landon, over to you, sir.
Follow me on Twitter, Landoz. Please go follow me, Landon Doane. I'm the best, Landon Doane, not the rest. That you can follow me 280 characters at a time. I also appear on the Phil Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI radio station locally here in Knoxville, Tennessee, streaming 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at newstalk987.com. Also available in the iHeartRadio app and the News Talk 987 app as well. And I also I'm going to start a new show this year. I'm springing it on this guy on these guys. It's called Avengers with Stephers. So just want to go ahead and muddy the waters even more.
I just want to say, last week I did a great plug for you, Landon, and I think that I should be the new singer for your jingle. And that is all right? I gotta say about that. Yes, Justin can attest. I did so great. She Nailed
did.
It.
She sang your song. She did sing your song.
He did.
I think
I'm about halfway through last week's episode, so knowing that there's that caveat at the end, I'll go back and power through. Yeah.
Just set up like a whole orchestra.
Yeah.
Conduct it.
I was gonna say maybe what we do is we introduce harmonies into the Landon.
Oh wow!
Song.
No. Oh,
L-A-N-D-O-Z.
Oh, I like this.
The Unhinged podcast.
I'll bring in the bass notes.
Monorail fan.
L-A-N-D-O-Z.
Just like Jay's going to be Skipper Bob's hype man, Stephers can be my personal singer girl person. Yeah, there we go. Welcome. I like this. New year, new roles for everybody.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening. This has been the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. I'm Justin Monorail. Thanks to all of my co-pilots today, Skipper Bob, Stephers, and Landon the Doane. You've been great in 2023, and we're looking forward to a wonderful 2024. I hope you all have enjoyed today's episode and come back next week for another Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Until then, thank a cast member, thank a team member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
See ya.